Vanamali Radha Ramana Giridhari Govinda. Vanamali Radha Ramana Giridhari Govinda. Neelamegha Sundara Narayana Govinda. Neelamegha Sundara Narayana Govinda. Vanamali Radha Ramana Giridhari Govinda. Vanamali Radha Ramana Giridhari Govinda. Bhakta Hridaya Mandara Bhanukoti Sundara. Bhakta Hridaya Mandara Bhanukoti Sundara. Nanda Nanda Gopa Vrinda Narayana Govinda. Nanda Nanda Gopa Vrinda Narayana Govinda. Hari Narayana Narayana Govinda. Hari Narayana Narayana Govinda. Hari Narayana Narayana Govinda. Hari Narayana Narayana Govinda. Vanamali Radha Ramana Giridhari Govinda. Vanamali Radha Ramana Giridhari Govinda. Neelamegha Sundara Narayana Govinda. Neelamegha Sundara Narayana Govinda. Vanamali Radha Ramana Giridhari Govinda. Vanamali Radha Ramana Giridhari Govinda. Bhakta Hridaya Mandara Bhanukoti Sundara. Bhakta Hridaya Mandara Bhanukoti Sundara. Nanda Nanda Gopa Vrinda Narayana Govinda. Nanda Nanda Gopa Vrinda Narayana Govinda. Hari Narayana Narayana Govinda. Hari Narayana Narayana Govinda. Hari Narayana Narayana Govinda. Hari Narayana Narayana Govinda. Vanamali Radha Ramana Giridhari Govinda.
Jaya ho Gopalana.
Jaya ho Gopalana.
Jaya ho Narayana.
Jaya ho Narayana.
Jaya ho Janardana.
Jaya ho Janardana.
Jaya ho Janardana. Swami Janardana.
Jaya ho Janardana. Swami Janardana.
Jaya ho Niranjana.
Jaya ho Niranjana.
Jaya ho Gopalana.
Jaya ho Gopalana.
Jaya ho
Janardhana.
Jaya ho Janardhana, Swami Janardhana.
Jaya ho Janardhana, Swami Janardhana.
Jaya ho Niranjana.
Jaya ho Niranjana.
Jaya ho Gopalana.
Jaya ho Gopalana.
Jaya ho Narayana.
Jaya ho Narayana.
Jaya ho Janardhana.
Jaya ho Janardhana.
Jaya ho Janardhana, Swami Janardhana.
Jaya ho Janardhana, Swami Janardhana.
Jaya ho Niranjana.
Jaya ho Niranjana.
Jaya ho Gopalana.
Jaya ho Gopalana.
Jaya ho Narayana.
Ready?
Yes, Swamiji, we can ready. We are ready.
Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahmavidvaram Manojavam Marudhatulya Vegam Chitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayuta Mukhyam Sri Ramadutam Sirasa Namami. Santoshini Jagannata Mama Saubhagya Vruddhaye Namaskaromi Bhaktya Tvam Prasanna Varada Bhava. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Om Namah Pranavarthaya Shuddha Jnanaiga Murtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Satchitananda Rupaya Vishwopatyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Nilambujasyamalakomalangam Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam Panau Mahasayaka Charuchapam Namami Ramam Raghuvamshanatham. Om Sri Tapovanam Swamine Namaha. So we have seen yesterday the Pravesha Shruti Tasrishtva tadevanupravishat tadenupravishya sachattacha bhavati. So Bhagavan, that means Shankaracharya writes in his commentary that you don't have to look for Lord elsewhere. That very same Lord is with you as Antaratma. It is, the ego is a pratibimba, a reflection of consciousness, reflection of Paramatma. A reflection can remain only when there is a bimba. Without a bimba, there cannot be any pratibimba. So the pratibimba, reflection, is valid only when there is a bimba. And that bimba is Paramatma. So Paramatma himself is Jivatma. So thus Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam was established by Pravesha Suti. So this is what Bhagavan Shankaracharya also writes. So that is why all the Mahatmas, saints and sages, they also reiterate the same thought. If you have heard Kabir Das Toha, Moko Kahan Dundere Bande, that's a beautiful Doha. There, the whole truth is given in a beautiful song. And na mandir mein, na masjid mein. So, where is he? He tera, main to tera paas hi hai. So, I am right here with you. So, this is such a beautiful teaching. In a simple way, those Mahatmas, great saints, has given. Now, we'll continue the 12th verse. Aharshashokopi yathartatoham rishyami shochami vibhemi chaivam shene shene vaikrita bhagavidya vashena yastam vadarishamide. Aharshashokopi yathartatoham rishyami shochami pibeti chaivam kshane kshane vaikrita bhagavidya vashena yastam badarishamide. Tam badarisham ide. That Badarisha, my namaskar, my prostrations to him, who is the Lord of Badri. Now, who is that Badrisha? Aharsha Shokaha, he is beyond sorrow and happiness, joy and sorrow. He is beyond joy and sorrow. He is, so sorrow and joy and sorrow, they are a pair of opposites. One is, the other is not. If you are happy, you are not sorrowful. If you are sorrowful, you are not happy. So one is, the other is not. So they are opposite to each other. But Bhagavan is neither of them. He cannot be called he is a happy person. Then what about unhappiness? Because he is the one illumining both. Happiness of your mind, unhappiness of your mind, both are illumined by him. Therefore, he has to be above both. Otherwise, he will not be illumining. Otherwise, he will be illumining only one. So here he is illumining both. So he is above the happiness and sorrow. Harsha shokapi yathartadaha, in truth, aham hrishyami. But what yathartadaha, in reality, is beyond harsha shoka. But what is the experience? He identifies with this body, mind, intellect. He says, I am enjoying, I am sorrowful. So this is the Shane Shane. So Hrishyami Shochami, Bibemi, I fear. Cha evam, and so on. Shane Shane, moment to moment. Vaikradabhag experiences avidya vashena because of this avidya. Now, avidya means what? Generally, we always hear this term avidya all the time. And we also say it is ignorance. Now, we don't like the word ignorance because we don't like to be called ignorant person. We are all intelligent people, so we cannot be called ignorant person. So, naturally, we resist the word ignorant. You are an ignoramus fool. No, if somebody say, we don't like it. So this all the Vedantic teaching, this word is very profusely used. Ignorance, ignorance, an ignorant person. Like this, always use the term. And what it is actually, if you really analyze, it is not addressing you as an ignorant person, please. Because when it comes to the material world, you are all very intelligent people. So many PhDs somebody has. Sometimes double PhD, triple PhD and all that. So with reference to the material world knowledge, the worldly knowledge, you're all very intelligent people. But even if you are intelligent in the world, worldly thing, but when it comes to your own self, you are ignorant. So that is what it means. Ignorance means you're not addressing general term. It is not addressed as a general term, but it is addressed as self-ignorance. We may have so many accomplishments intellectually, but the one who is behind the intellect, illumining your knowledge, what is that? That we have no idea. And that ignorance of myself, my real nature. So that is called avidya vashena. Even though, see the contrast here, even though his nature is beyond shoka moha and beyond sorrow and happiness, but he behaves as though he is sorrowful. He is miserable. This is because he has forgotten his real nature. That self-forgetfulness is called ignorance here. So avidya vashena. Now that is why in Ramayana also you see Bhagavan Ramchandraji, he is Shuddha Brahma Paratpara Ram. So he is absolute truth, Parabrahma. But then when Sitaji was abducted, what did he do? He started crying and weeping like an ordinary person. So it is a depiction of, even though our nature is the highest truth, but we forget our nature, we behave like an ordinary human being. And that is what is Bhagavan depicting there. And even Sati and Bhagavan Shivji was going in the air, and they had a session with Agastya Rishi, Agastya Rishi's ashram. They visited and stayed there for some time and listened to Rama Katha from Agastya Rishi himself. Look at this Bhagavan Shivji, such a devotee of Rama. He went to listen to Rama Katha from Agastya Rishi. And then they were going back at that time. This Rama Katha was going on, Treta Yuga. So this Bhagavan saw, Shivji saw from aerial view. He saw Ramchandraji just now. He lost his wife, Sitaji, and he is looking for her in the forest, crying, weeping, Ha Site, where are you? And he is calling all the Lada Batradi. all the deer and other animals telling that, have you seen her? Have you seen her? Like this, he was crying and looking for her. And at that time, Bhagwan Shivaji saw this scene from the air and he prostrated to him. He is not surprised. He is prostrating to him. Oh Bhagavan, you are doing wonderful job. What a wonderful job you are doing. Ah, wow, wow. Like that, tarif kar rahe. And Sati looked at Bhagavan and she was surprised. How can be? At that time it was Sati. It was not Parvati. So Sati looked at him and said, what is this? You are prostrating to that prince of Ayodhya and you are the Lord of the universe. How come you prostrate to him? And if he is Vishnu Bhagavan himself, how can he behave like an ordinary human being? Yeah, like crying for his wife, etc. What is this? So Bhagavan said, don't mistake him. He is Bhagavan himself. He has not forgotten his real nature and he is acting out. A role that is given to him, he is acting out. So that is it. And she did not believe him, and then she wanted to test. So when she went and stood in front of Bhagwan Ramchandraji in the forest, in the form of Sitaji, she assumed the form of Sitaji, and then stood in front of Bhagwan. And Bhagwan immediately looked at her and said, he called the bluff. Immediately asked, Mataji, how come you are here in the forest? Where is Lord Shiva? And suddenly she realized Bhagwan has not forgotten his nature. He knows what he is, but he is acting out. And afterwards she came back without saying anything. And then the story, you know what happened. And this is a depiction of that our nature is the highest truth. But then once we forget that, we behave like a fool. And that is what is our Param Guru is saying. To that Ishvara Badarisha, who is none other than your Antaratma, Paramatma, that Paramatma, my prostrations. Mahamahim. Now next one, 13th one. Mahamahimno Dijagamna Yitham Nichai Patitva Grahato Yaisha Pureshu Tatswami Padati Ruda Sankrida Detam Badarisha Mide. Mahamahimna Nijadhamna Mahamahimna Nijadhamna, from his ever pure nature. Itham, his own glory. Niche patitva, having fallen. Agrahataha, in his ignorance. The Lord Ishaha, in each as its supreme controller. Pureshu, in the bodies of the creatures. Tat Swami Padati Rudaha. Sankridade. Tam Badarisham. Sankridade, he come to play. So his nature, the same idea is extended here also. That is, that Mahamahimnaha, because of his ignorance of his own divine glory, having fallen from his ever pure nature. Yesterday we saw that, the example of dream. So, in the dream is created by you. You created the dream. And you yourself is experiencing the dream. And you get frightened. So, I used to dream all the time. I write examination and I fail. So my friend told me, you can't even pass in dream also. See, the question paper was created by me and the examiner also me and the writing exam also me, but still I don't pass. Look at this. So this is what we become a victim in our own creation. This is exactly what is happening in the entire creation. Paramatma created this world. As I was telling you yesterday, we are, as it were, we are in the dream of Bhagavan. This waking world is a dream. We have to wake up to our own real nature, so that is why Supreme Brahman is beyond Ishvara. We are in the dream of Ishvara. So we have to go beyond Ishvara. That is Brahman. That is called moksha, realization. So because he has forgotten his divine glory, he has come to play in these bodies of the creatures. Now here he's not telling only human being. He is playing in the bodies of all creatures. It is starting from Brahmaji to Vipilika Paryantam. And so starting from the highest evolved living being, Brahmaji, there also Bhagavan's presence is there. An ant, most insignificant creature is ant. In ant also Bhagavan's presence is there. And you see, it is able to move. It has got a self-preservation instinct is there. If some danger is there, it tries to protect itself. And it also programmed to look for food and survival. All these things are there, instinct. It is all because of the presence of Lord. In all of them, the presence, and entering into these bodies, Bhagavan, as it were, sporting. That is what the sport, sankridate is the word used here by our author, come to play. So he's when somebody is playing, so play is always for entertainment, isn't it? So unless you play in a Las Vegas and all that, that is different. That is for gaining or losing. But here, generally, we play at home, etc. Carrom board, you are playing just to entertain ourselves. So here also, Bhagavan looks like as though he is playing, sporting in this world. It is a relaxation, an entertainment, an expression of one's own dexterity and smartness. That is called play. So, but even though he is the Lord of the whole universe, but now because of ignorance of his own real nature, he behaved like an ordinary creature and play among these creatures, sporting among these creatures, and then suffer, enjoy. If this understanding is there, then what happens? Our life becomes very easy. Otherwise, every little thing becomes important to us. So that is why when you go to a movie, Hindi movie, let us say you go there, you know it is a fiction, it is not real, it is a box office movie. But once you start seeing what happened, you identify with the characters, isn't it? Hero, heroine, villain. You hate that villain. And you fall in love with the heroine and hero. And then according to what experiences they go through, you also go through that. And then afterwards, the whole movie is over. You know it is a movie. It was an entertainment for you, isn't it? That is why you pay for it. If it was not an entertainment, you will not go and see that, isn't it? So, but even though those experiences are there, sukham, dukkham, and some people will cry also. In the movie, there was a person and husband and wife watching the movie, and the husband start crying when the heroine died. The husband started crying. The wife was there, sitting next to him. He said, just nudged him, saying, "Hey, I am here. Why are you crying?" And then he was wiping his tears. Between the wiping tears, he said, "That is why." So that is the reason why I am crying. So even though we cry everything, but you know it is not real. So that is why when the whole thing is over, the screen become blank, you are not disappointed, you are happy. The same way, the whole creation, our experiences are like a drama, like a movie. And it is not real. It is all played because of our ignorance. We go through this. And our real nature is Paramatma, who is free from all this. If this knowledge is there, insight is there, none of those experiences will shake you. That's why Bhagavan said in Gita, Yasmin Sthitera Dukkena Gurunapi Vichalyate. Having established in this, even a tornado of unhappiness comes, you will not be shaken. So that is the beauty about this understanding. Sometimes you may wonder, what is the use of studying all these things? This is the use. Whether I am Brahman or not, what is the point? I don't know it. By the time I come to know when, this life or next life, we don't know. But don't worry, you start. There is no particular time limit for it. You can know it instantly. And it may take some time also. It is all up to you. So here our Param Guru says it is like a krida, like a play, like a sport. Continuing. Yonati samskara niyandrita stri janati bhogyeshu budhottamopi. Yeah? Yonati samskara niyandrita stri janati bhogyeshu budhottamopi. Kshetrajnaveshena kharajatulyam momuhyate tam badarishamide. Anadi samskara niyandritaha tam badarisham ide. That is common. That Badrinath, my prostrations. Who got entrapped in his own tendencies? Anadi samskara niyandritaha. Now, anadi samskara niyandritaha. So, our Gurudev commentary you should read here. It's very beautiful. He explained what is anadi. Beginningless. So beginningless is, beginning means what? Time, involved time. What is time? What is the unit of time? A unit of time is not year, not month, not week, not day, not hour, not minute. It is second. So time is an interval between two experiences. So the first experience, there was no time. Only at the point of second experience, time is calculated. Therefore, our Gurudev says that the first thought, there was no time. So that is called anadi. The first thought. So therefore, in the unit of time, the first minimum quantity of measurable time that emerged out in our concept is called the second. This period expressing zero time is beginningless, anadi, in Hindu philosophical discourses. So, anadi, the first thought. Think about it. Because most of the time we think that what is this anadi? When time has not started, that is what it is. What is anadi? And this anadi vasanaya. So there what it means is the vasana. Most of the time we ask this question. What was the first thought rose? So in all the study group, this is a big discussion. And we get into a cycle, chakkar. And we never get a proper answer from anybody. We give up finally, that is all. So this is because the nature of vasanas are like that. Creation is a cycle. If it is not a, what do you call, linear creation. Creation is not linear. It's not straight, starting from one point, ending at one point. No. It is cycle. It's a cycle. When it is a cycle, there is no beginning or end. So it is. So creation is possible only when there must be some unmanifest form of creation existing already. Otherwise, it is not possible. Unmanifest become manifest is called creation. Otherwise, from nothing, nothing can be created. If you say the world was not existing before, and then suddenly a Big Bang theory, suddenly something came, exploded and became the world, if you say, it is purely illogical. Then we ask the question that after the explosion, what happened? Then formed matter, planets, etc. The stars and planets, etc. is formed. And that is all rotating, and each one is going now. Sun, all the 9 planets are going around the sun. And there is a gravitational force which is controlling everything, not allowing to collide each other. Each one is keeping their orbit. All these things are there. Now, this is how it is possible without some law. If there is a law, then there must be a lawgiver also. Therefore, creation is a misnomer actually. It is unmanifest becoming manifest. Then he says, Enadi samskara niyantrita stri janadi bhogeshu. So, anadi samskara niyantritaha. So, this person is controlled by anadi samskaram. The samskaram started from when? We don't know. That last life or before that, generally Hindus, we have 7 lives. 7 life before, 7 life later. So this 7 life, we don't know it is only 7 life. How many lives we have gone through, we have no idea. Anadi samskara. And that is why sometimes you wonder, you observe people, you look at them and you will understand this is true because each one behaved differently in a given situation. Same situation, 2 people or 3 people are in the same situation. Their reactions are different. And that reaction is because of their vasanas. And that vasana, how did they get it? They got it from this life or last life or many other lives they lived. So that's why anadi samskara niyantrita. So we are all controlled by these vasanas. That's why I said yesterday we have come with a chip, programmed chip. And that is the one controlling us. Now our life, this life should be what? Deprogrammed. So our whole life should be spent on deprogramming and reprogram. Deprogram and reprogram. Only then we can attain moksha. To clean that program. So this anadi samskara niyantritaha, acquired through life of egocentric action, stri janadi bhogyeshu, begins to enjoy women and such other objects of entertainment. Buddhottama abhi. Even this person is an erudite scholar. Buddhottama abhi. He may be a great person, but when it comes to enjoyment, he forgets. Kshetratnya veshena, in the form of ego jiva, kshetratnya kharajatulyam. The kshetratnya word is used in 13th chapter. Kshetra is field of experience. Kshetratnya is the knower of the field. Kshetratnyam chapi mam vidhi sarvakshetreshu bharata. So in the form of kshetratnya, kharajatulyam. Khara and aja. Khara ajatulyam. Kharajatulyam. Khara means donkey. Aja means goat. So like a donkey and a goat, how they enjoy sense pleasures, the same way, because of the moha, mukhyate, comes to get extremely deluded. So that Badrisha, who is the Supreme Paramatma, who is free from all dualities, but due to ignorance, he forgets himself and get carried away with the influence of his beginningless vasanas, collected many janmas, and suffer or enjoy in life. So even behind such a fallen creature, the essential reality, the consciousness is but the same, absolute one, the Lord of Badri, and to him my salutations. That is why all our rishis, they never fail to see this fact. That is why they addressed us, you are the children of immortal bliss. This is how our rishis have addressed us, because they always look at the Paramatma in us, not the fallen one, but the real one. Their drishti, they never lose sight of it. Continue it. Koham kutaschatra samagadakyam mamasti kartavyamihetyajasram martyatmanayortha katarthitatma nachindayetam badarishamide. Now, koham kutaschatra samagadakyam mamasti kartavyam ihetyajasram. Heti ajasram martyatmana yo artha kadarthidatma nachindayetam badarishamide. Tam badarisham ide. Tam badarisham ide. To that Lord of Badri, my adorations, who, due to his body identification, he who distracts his mind in sense pleasures, fail to inquire, who am I? Kaha aham? Kutacha atra samagadaha? And from where have I reached here? You can remove the screen sharing. I don't. So, our Param Guru is urging us to ask this question. Kaha aham? Who am I? Kutacha atra samagataha? And from where have I reached here? Where have I come? Kastam koham kuta ayataha? Kame janani kome tataha? So, our Shankaracharya and Bhajagovindam requests us to ask this question, from where have you come? Swamiji, I come from Mumbai. Then I came to New Jersey, then I went to Dallas, then I went to Chicago. This is what I am. This is not what I am asking. Before you came to Bombay, you were born in Bombay. Before you were born in Bombay, where were you? Kastam koham, kaha aham, who am I? And this person name, that is Ramachandroham, Padmanabhoham, Ganeshoham. Who is this person? Start asking once in a way. stop, think. Who am I? Our Ramana Maharshi used to ask this question. That was his Brahmastra. Whoever goes and asks him a question, he will ask, who is asking this question? Then this person will say, I am so-and-so, my name is Subramanya, he is asking question. That is your name. You are not Subramanya. That name was given to you by somebody whom you are not even aware of it. You are a baby sitting in the cradle. Now here in this country, before 24 hours, you have to give a name, isn't it? And the child doesn't know. He doesn't have a choice also. It is parents' choice. And nowadays, what kind of names people put? I don't know. And they look at Google, they look at all kinds of internet, and then some name they give. And there is an excuse. Our Indian name, Americans cannot pronounce. What is this? So what? Let them pronounce and get some good samskara for them. And the name was not in your control. That is why when you grow up, you don't like the name, you change the name also. So when you come to America, you change the name. Ganeshan become Ganson. Padmanabhan become Paul. Subramanyam become Monian. Krishnamurti, Chris. You change the name because you are not the name. Now, who are you? And I'm an engineer, doctor. You are a doctor because you did not come from mother's womb declaring I am a doctor coming. You went to school, studied medicine, you became a doctor. And if you don't like it, you can change also. I have a doctor here who was a cardiovascular surgeon. He got tired of getting sued, so he changed his profession to lawyer now. Now he is suing everybody. You can change your qualification also. Profession. So you are not that. What are you? Then I am a Hindu. That is your religion. That religion can be changed also. People change the religion very often, like the shirt. What are you? Who are you? That is the problem. Now, it's serious. It becomes serious. When said, inquire, who are you? Who is this person in you? So, kaha aham, kutacha atra samagadaha, from where have I reached here? So, before birth, where was I? After death, where will I go? These two things completely blocked. You don't know. So, kutaha atra samagadaha, kim mama kartavyam iha asti. What is my duty here? What for? What is the purpose of my life? Is it just going through life mechanically? That is the purpose. Like everybody, the whole crowd, whatever they are doing, same thing you do. I remember a youngster came and sought blessing from me and said, Swamiji, I am getting married. I want your blessing. Then I foolishly asked him why. He didn't like the question. And he thought for a while and then told me, Swamiji, what else to do? So this is what everybody does. I am also doing the same thing. This is what life is for all of us. What everybody does, we also do. But what is our real duty to ourselves? That we forget. We have no time to think. Our Guru says here, stop and think. What is the purpose? What is my duty? The prime duty. Duty is also Samanya Dharma, Vishesha Dharma, Param Dharma is also there. What is my Param Dharma? Param Dharma is, supreme duty is to know yourself. Everything else is secondary. But for us, everything else is prime and this is secondary. So what is my Param Dharma? There is a beautiful discussion is there in that, in Ramayana. When Bharata was offered the kingdom by Vasishtha Rishi himself, says that now father is not there. You have to fulfill his promise to his wife, Kaikeyi. The first promise was that he will make Bharata as a king. So now you have to take over the kingdom. There is nothing, nobody is going to blame for you because you are fulfilling the duty. And there is a beautiful discussion. What is Samanya Dharma and Vishesha Dharma and Param Dharma? What is Param Dharma? Param Dharma is whatever is given to you by the Lord. It is all given to you by the Lord. And offer him. Offering to him is the Param Dharma. So that is why Bharata decided to return the kingdom to Bhagavan, because that is he considered Param Dharma. So what is our Param Dharma as living here as a human being? Yandunam Narajanma Durlabham. Very rarely we get this human life. And that also, you got the opportunity to listen to Shastra. You have a Guru also. Our Gurudev is our Guru. A Jivan Mukta Purusha as our Guru. We have the privilege of knowing him, associated with him. And we are under his umbrella. Having blessed with all this, and if still we are not convinced of our goal and devote ourselves to achieve that goal, then it is a waste of life. So therefore, kartavyam kim mama kartavyam iha asti iti ajasram. Thus constantly one should think. So here he says he forget to think all these things because of his attachment. Due to his body identification, he who distracts his mind in sensuous pleasures, he failed to inquire constantly, who am I? From where have I reached here? What is my duty? Even though he failed to do that, but in essential nature, he is Paramatma. To that Badrinath, the Lord of Badri, I offer my prostrations. Yet kin, next one, 16th. Yatkinja vishwam jagadisha jiva prabheti yasmin pratibhati nasate na satcha nirvaktumayogyame Rajjurakastam badari samide. That supreme reality, neither existence nor non-existence. Paramatma, you cannot say it exists, nor you can say it is not existing. Now, when you say it exists, it is like a tree exists. I am, you are, so on. Existence means it should be available for perception, sense perception. Paramatma is not available for sense perception. Since that is cannot be perceived by the senses, we can dismiss saying that it doesn't exist. That also you cannot do. Non-existent like the rabbit's horn. Vandhya putraha, son of a barren woman. That way you cannot dismiss. So you cannot dismiss saying it is not existing. You cannot accept saying it is existing. This is the situation. Why? Because it is the subject. Subject cannot be objectified. This you must have heard many times. Now, example. Now our eyes. You try to see our eyes with eyes. Is it possible? Not in the mirror, please. With your eyes, try to see your eyes. Because eyes are the subject. It can see everything else, objects, but it cannot see itself. The tongue cannot taste itself, it can taste everything else. The same way, Paramatma being the subject, you cannot see as an object. The moment you want to see him as an object, then what happened? It is subject to change. So, Vishwam Jagadisha Viprasa, supreme reality, which is neither existence nor non-existent, which is indescribable. So in Keno Upanishad, na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati, no mano, na vitmo, na vijanimo. Yadaita tanvishishya, danyadeva tat vididadado, vididadapi. Na chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati. Eyes cannot reach, now words cannot reach. Indescribable, anirvachaniyam. So to describe something, there are nama, guna, kriya, sambandha. So how do you describe a person? Mr. Chatterjee. Now you want to describe. How do you nama? Mr. Chatterjee. Then guna. He is tall, he is fair, he is bald-headed and flowing mustache and an Indian chewing gum in his mouth. Pan. Now this is a description. Now kriya, what does he do? He is an engineer. Electrical engineer. Then sambandha, what is the relationship? He is my wife's brother's sister's husband's nephew. Sambandha. Now, this is how you describe a person, isn't it? Now you apply that to describe Paramatma. None of them works. Gunatit, there is no guna. There is no kriya. He doesn't do anything. There is no sambandha, relationship also. So how are you going to explain? So indescribable. Kinja visham jagadiva jiva prabhedi yasmin pradibadina sate. Neither existent nor non-existent, which is indescribable, which expresses itself differently as world, ego, and God. So, Pratibimba, ego, and total vasanas, Ishvara. He himself is the creation as Upadana Karanam, material cause. When you look at him from the standpoint of material cause, he is the whole creation. From our own ego standpoint is Jiva. Then Ishvara, the total vasanas, the Lord of the total vasanas is Ishvara. In Mandukya Karika, it is very clearly mentioned about that. Pratnya, Ishvara. Pratnya is Vishti Karana Sharira Abhimani Atma. Pratnya. Then Samashti Karana Sharira Abhimani Ishvara. Oh, it's time. Sorry. I took 2 more minutes. We will stop here. Sorry, I was not able to complete. I was aiming at least 25, but that also not possible because our Guru is such a great scholar and a poet. He has dealt with deep topics and I could not do casual treatment for it. So I had to go deeper. There are so many things to be told. I am restricting myself. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll get another chance. We'll continue.